Well, well, Mr. Magnus McGilden. Not a name I expected to hear in these circumstances. Yeah, okay. They used it a little bit. I feel like they've used it a lot better in this game, especially the fact that outside of court they have these little things that are a little bit more than just present one of the things to the guy. Mr. Sholmes, I'm afraid there's something very troubling on my mind. Pray tell, Miss Susato. Well, according to what Mr. Windibank told us earlier, today was the final day on which the coat could have been redeemed, was it not? Yes, ma'am, that is correct. Today would be precisely 2 months since it was first deposited. Well, today is 15th April, so 2 months ago today would have been 15th February, sir. That's right. It's all carefully recorded in my ledger. Deposited at 10:30 p.m., I see. What? But that suggests... Yes, 15th February is precisely the day on which the omnibus murder took place. And 10:30 in the evening is precisely the time at which the terrible events were unfolding. Suggestive is not the word. It would seem the matter is entirely beyond coincidence. I don't think I played any of the... I played one on stream that was sprite-based, and that was one of the other side games, Miles Edgeworth Investigations, which I forget when that came out compared to the other ones. But yeah, they had like five games that were all sprite-based, and then they went to 3D. You are, of course, at liberty to make whatever outlandish deductions you choose. However... Oh! He's like, good job using your brain, geniuses. I have a gun. I must insist you hand over the music box disc now. It would be a terrible shame for you to return to your native land in a box. Ugh! What do I do? Nah. I got like 5 extra lives. I haven't died once. There are some things a man must protect at all costs. This may well be one of those things. Then again, it may not. Mr. Windibank! This is my shop. I can't allow any harm to come to my customers. If that were to happen, I should have to take my own life. Mr. Windibank, no! Alright, that's enough, said somebody. Oh, the police is here. Inspector Gregson? Inspector? That's right, Sunshine. The alarm was raised on one of our dedicated emergency lines. So we got here as fast as we could. Now, what's all this about, eh? Oh, praise be, you're here at last. I was moments away from forfeiting my own life in my very own establishment. It would seem you have the upper hand. Yeah. Right. You lot have got some explaining to do. I don't appreciate being bothered with some petty argy-bargy? Argy-bargy? Either of those. Petty? Mr. Windibank very nearly met with his end. Yeah, by his own gun, as far as I can tell. Oh dear. And the whole of Britain could meet with its end if I don't get to the bottom of the case I'm supposed to be working on. What? What on earth is the case, Inspector? Spare no detail, Gregson. I might have said a little too much. No matter, it's nothing to do with you lot. Anyway, you're under arrest. by the by, now that we've finished talking, you're gonna have to come with me down to the station. But of course, Inspector. Ah! He's getting away. He gave us the old spinneroo. The old classic spinneroo. One of the classic blunders. Get after him, lad. Whistle the beat, officer, too. Sir. There's been a spate of thieves at the pawn shops around here recently, so we fitted emergency buttons underneath the counters for brokers to let us know when there's trouble. Oh, Inspector, I was very worried there for a while, very worried indeed. Now then, Mr. Permanently in Mourning. Oh, yes? I'll be taking that whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh, yes, of course. No, don't! Don't give it to him. It's mine, that is. Mine. Sorry, miss. Anything belonging to McGilded has to be taken in as evidence now. As evidence? If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. Grr. So what is this super important case? And how could somebody have checked in McGilded's coat at the same time that he or at roughly the same time that he was getting burnt to death in the omnibus? Could have been that it wasn't him in there. Could have been a lot of things. So we handed over Mr. McGilded's disc over to Inspector Gregson, and were summarily turfed out of the shop and onto the street. Done turfed us. It is curious. So, almost every single Phoenix Wright case starts with you finding out that there's been a murder. They rarely have you do anything before they go, there's been a murder, you're the lawyer, and then the things that you do are the investigation. The previous case didn't even have a murder, for one. And what was... Do we do the one before that? No, okay. I guess that's just the main one. But that one we also didn't find out that there was a crime at all for a while. It feels really good to have the formula broken up a little bit. Right? Because I think I said that about Dual Destinies and Spirit of Justice, that I was like, they were just too predictable. It was just too like, okay, and now here is the part where this happens. Here is the part where this happens. And it's like, there's a limit to how much of that there should be in a series of games like this. See, that's why I hate grown-ups. All they do is feed you a pack of lies and take stuff away from you. Oh, really, Mr. Lestrade? Tell me, is that overcoat keeping you warm? What? Oh my, surely you were given that. Yeah, the D let me keep it, after I looked daggers at him for long enough. He went through the pockets and then said, go on then, have it, before telling me to scalp her. Always pays off giving people a look like you ate them. I can't help feeling that it's going to get you into serious trouble one day. What I really wanted was that nice shiny disc, mind. The music box disc? But Mr. Windibank said it was practically worthless. I think we're gonna go have another bash. Give him a long, hard stare. I think not, Miss Lestrade. We shan't enter Windibanks again today. Why not? That's not fair. It can't be helped, I'm afraid. The police are investigating the scene now and taking a statement from Mr. Windibank. But that disc's mine. I had the ticket for this coat, and it was in this coat's pocket. There should be something else and all. That's what the Rotten Cove said, ain't it? Yes, he did mention something about another article, didn't he? Well, and that's mine too, whatever it is. Oh, she's really pushing her luck. Miss Lestrade, I think it's time to admit defeat. You've had your haul for the day. Yeah, and it's all your fault, Sholmes. So, what are your plans now? Will you dine with us this evening? Iris would be delighted to cook, I'm sure, and I might entertain you with a modest violin recital. No tar? Like, no thank you? No tar? Oh. Well, I want to come round to your place, eh? You're scared or something? And then she Naruto ran away. Oh dear, she's gone. Having reviled on me quite unnecessarily, I might add. I can't help but wondering if perhaps she might turn up anyway. Interesting. Once she's had a chance to calm down, I think there's a good chance she'll decide to come. Very well then. I'll inform Iris to set a place for our potential guest at the dinner table this evening. And one more thing. I should be glad of your company later too. Sorry? I believe I will have a rather splendid surprise to show you. Oh, how exciting. What is it? You shall have to wait and see, Mr. Sato. Until later, then. Johnny! And where are we going? Just anywhere? Look at all the different things in the window of this shop. Oh, that's Windibank's, the pawnbrokery. Oh, is it? I guess it is. It looks much smarter than a pawnbroker's in Japan, doesn't it? Yes, you're right. I find pawn shops at home rather inapproachable, personally. It reminds me of tearfully parting with my favorite fountain pen. I felt so miserable. What doesn't kill us makes us stronger, Mr. Naruhodo? So we're gonna go somewhere? Can't go there. To the Sweetmobile. Ah, Susie and Runo, come in, come in. Good afternoon, Iris. Thank you so much for breakfast this morning. Oh, don't mention it. Goodness, look at the time already. Busy as always? I am. I'm preparing everything for dinner this evening. Already? You're obviously cooking something special, are you? Oh yes, after all, we have a special guest joining us. Guess who it is? Go on. You'll never guess. Those little eyes of hers shining. Oh dear, it is awkward when you already know the answer, isn't it? It's Ginny, isn't that exciting? Oh, what a surprise! Yes, that's wonderful news. Wow, Iris seems overjoyed at the idea. I can't wait to learn some pickpocketing tips from a real professional. Yeah, of all the localization decisions, they decided to cut out his use of cocaine and other opioids. Oh yes, that does sound like fun. I'm not sure that's entirely appropriate. Are you, Mr. Naruhodo? By the way, Iris, what's Mr. Sholmes up to? Oh, he's doing a line off the desk, I see. Or no, it's fine. Only Sherlock Holmes does hard drugs. You're thinking of a different guy. This is Herlock Sholmes. No relation. Hurley? Oh, he's been like that ever since he got back. Hello, Mr. Sholmes? I beg that you won't speak to me. Sorry? I don't know who you are, but kindly take your leave. As you can see, I'm not here. I don't know how to respond to that. So I'm gonna give him the dots. I do apologize. When he gets like this, he's completely oblivious to everything. Dard Hrugs. Drard Hugs. Yeah. Yes, I see. Really, he behaves just like a child sometimes, Hurley does. Mr. Sholmes and Iris have something of a parent and child relationship, don't they? Yes, except that Iris is clearly the parent here. Come to think of it, I wonder what her real parents are. What's the matter, Runo? You have ever such a funny look on your face. Oh, no, it's nothing. I know what it is. Why does this girl live here with Mr. Sholmes, you're wondering? Am I right? How? How did you? Oh, Runo, I can read you like a book. Ugh, this girl's dangerous. Don't worry, you can ask me anything. I won't mind. Very well. Which anime did your parents die in? I'm sure you've been wondering why it is that I live here with Hurley, haven't you? Well, it has crossed my mind. That, and where are your real parents? And she puts on the sad anime face. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, my mom and dad died of anime. Mommy passed away when I was born, and at around the same time, my father, well, he had to go to a faraway land because of one of the cases he and Hurley were working on. Oh. Wait a minute. Did you say he and Hurley? Yes. Daddy and Hurley were always solving mysterious cases together. She didn't mention that before. He wrote them all up in his diaries. That's what's in the metal chest over there. Really? He recorded them all? So, you mean it's true, Mr. Sholmes really did have a partner with whom he tackled some of his most taxing cases? Oh yes. I mean, it's always nice to have one, isn't it? So Mr. Sholmes' partner was your father? Exactly. Hurley told me I wasn't allowed to look in the chest, but that only made me want to look even more, so I opened it up and found your father's memoirs. Yes, so I asked Hurley, who wrote these? He nearly fell off his chair. But then he told me. That's when I found out that the author of all those accounts was my father. So Iris's father was Mr. Sholmes' partner. What was Watson's first name? Are we gonna... Well, no, wait. She said her name is Iris Watson, so they can't even pull a swap-a-rooney on Watson's name. It's John, right? John Watson, I think. So I don't know if you go, oh, his name was Juan Jotson. Nope, they already... His first name is Agent. I've practically lived with Hurley all my life. I was tiny when he took me in. So, it came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, it must have done? It must have done what? Oops. It came as quite a shock when Hurley told me he wasn't really my daddy. I mean, it must have done. That's got to be yet another. We found another weird British language thing. Oh, British. I wonder why Mr. Holmes chose to tell you, and at such a young age. Hurley says it's because he wouldn't have been able to hide it from me. Oh? Well, having lived with Hurley all these years, you might say that his ways have rubbed off on me. There are some things I can just see. Especially lies. I almost know when people are lying before they open their mouths sometimes. Right. Anyway, I was so fascinated when I read Daddy's diaries. That's what inspired me to write The Adventures of Herlock Sholmes, actually. I'd always assumed Mr. Sholmes simply told you all those thrilling stories. Oh no, Hurley's hopeless like that. He forgets everything. As soon as he solved a case, it all but vanishes from his mind. Just like all the great detectives. Oh, I see. The other day, it was so embarrassing. As usual, he totally forgot about the case he'd just solved. So the very next day, he gathered together all the people involved and proceeded to solve the case again. It was quite a shock for everyone. Say that again. You share your father's surname, don't you, Iris? That's right, Wilson. Oh, I forgot. They changed it. He wasn't Watson, he's Wilson. John Wilson. I learnt from his diaries that he's a doctor of medicine, you see. That's what prompted me to study and study so that I could earn a doctorate as well. Iris's father, who went to some distant land, and is a doctor by the name of John H. Wilson. I've long since forgotten what happened in the first case. Oh yeah, Hurley. Yeah, and what does she call him? She calls him something that doesn't make any sense. What she calls Naruhodo. Runo? Yeah, she shortens Naruhodo to Runo. The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Oh wait, he was the guy who died! The victim was... Oh, no. Okay, I put that together just in time. That's right. Visiting professor of medicine at Imperial Yume University, and the man who, in the most bizarre of circumstances, lost his life just before we left Japan. Miss Susato. Yes. Perhaps we shouldn't pursue this conversation any further at this time. Oh, his other name. Okay, I thought she was just grabbing random syllables. I think that would be for the best. Never tell children that their parents have died. Got it. Sage advice. So by Ginny, you mean Miss Lestrade, the young woman from the McGilded case 2 months ago, right? Yes, who also stole my experimental smoke grenade launcher. Although, after that trial, I invited her back here, and we had dinner together. More caffeine. And now we're the best of friends. Oh, what a lovely tale. Yes, now if I bumped into her on the street, she runs away as fast as she can. Oh. And I chase her after her down the back alleys. Interesting idea of friendship. And then I let her have the latest color of smoke grenade I've developed. Oh. There are so many beautiful colors in the world. Ginny makes me want to make a whole rainbow. Suppose this means you've let Miss Lestrade keep the smoke grenade launcher, have you? Yes, that's right. I got bored of it anyhow. Hurley always reacts the same way when I shoot him with it now. Poor Hurley. Oh, I can't wait for Ginny to arrive. It's been too long since she last came over. I'm so excited that she could die and be the murder victim. I just hope she actually does come. Ah, my dear fellows, how good to see you. Eek, Mr. Sholmes. Why ever did you not make your presence known to me before? Well, no matter now. So, how the devil are you? We've been with you for most of the day. Goodness, really? Do tell me, Mr. Sholmes, is your violin unscathed? My violin? Whatever are you talking about, dear madame? Oh, never mind that now. I have something far more interesting to show you. Behold, my dear fellows. Oh, another music box disc. No, not another disc, Miss Susato. This is the one Gregson demanded we hand over as evidence. Mr. McGilded's disc. Oh my. Then what's it doing here? Did he memorize the bumps and then make a duplicate of it? You know, at times, Mr. Naruhodo, I think that though I have an undeniable turn for detection, I may well be even more adept at larceny. Oh, that would be wonderfully exciting. I'd be your pickpocketing assistant. And Runo could be our go-to lawyer if we ever got caught. Right. Plus, Susie has such beautiful handwriting she could write all our menacing crime notifications. Yes, I'd be delighted. Just gonna pretend this conversation never happened, I think. So, you stole the disc from the police. I don't understand. How did that disc come to be in your possession? I thought Inspector Gregson took it back to Scotland Yard. Quite correct. Hey, Serp. Quite correct. And that sort of uncompromising attitude is precisely why I always carry some of this. That's a bar of caramel, Mr. Sholmes. Your one and only friend in times of loneliness, if I'm not mistaken. If you will humor me, my dear fellows, cast your minds back to when the good detective confiscated the disc. You missed. We're pretty far into this chapter, and no one... There is no crime yet. Well, there's the crime of a guy did pull a gun on us, which that's not allowed. Get him on a technicality. I'll be taking out whatever it is of McGilded's down to the yard, thank you very much. So hand it over. Oh yes, of course. If the police demand something as evidence, my dear fellow, we have no choice but to capitulate. It's all yours, Inspector. For the briefest of moments, I had the disc in my hand. Did I not? Yes, you did. But I still don't understand. It was at precisely that moment I summoned my one and only friend into action. I pressed the disc into a pair of bars, like this. Oh! That's very clever. The disc and all the minuscule protrusions have made an image in the caramel. Indeed, this caramel is quite exceptional. I developed it myself, you know. Suitably soft for making impressions, but resistant to melting. The result of a precisely controlled solution. How extraordinary! Carrying a pair of these on one's person frequently proves very useful indeed. Take a house key, for example. A simple press, and its unique form is duplicated. I can enter anyone's property at will, and never without high sucrose nourishment. Yes. Falcon Judge. From the image, I was able to create this. I confess I was most curious to know what manner of music would issue from the disc when played. I've never watched those. Is he supposed to... No. They have other shows where, like, people are supposed to be Sherlock Holmes. Right? Like... Well, like Sherlock, for one. There's something else, right? Elementary, that's another one. Yeah, there's at least two shows that are like, oh, like the main character is Sherlock Holmes. Monk was just a one where, you know, there's some guy. Do tell us then, Mr. Sholmes, what music does the disc play? Well, unfortunately, I have no idea. No idea? None whatsoever. Are you familiar with the workings of a music box, my dear fellows? No, I'm afraid not. Oh, someone copies a car key in a chocolate bar and then makes a copy and steals the car. It's very clever. Goodness, you don't know, Runo? Oh, well, there you go. There's the music. Just stop talking and listen to it. Inside a music box, there's a special metal piece called a comb. That's what produces the sound. Small protuberances pluck the different teeth of the comb as they rotate past it, making the different notes. The first music boxes to be invented used a rotating cylinder with protuberances on it. But over time, a new type of player was produced which uses discs, such as these. With that development, the popularity of music boxes spread far and wide, all around the globe. Why exactly? Because the discs are easy to produce and can be interchanged to facilitate the playing of different tunes. There are a great many firms in Europe now manufacturing music boxes as a result. It is wonderful to be able to enjoy music, even when no performer is present. But it is the very success of the invention that means we are now presented with an insurmountable problem. What do you mean? As you may imagine, the construction of one firm's music box does not match that of another, and we have no way of knowing in which music box this particular disc was designed to be played. There is no resolution to this problem, I'm afraid. It's quite intractable. Oh, I see. So that's why. Couldn't you just look at the bumps and put them on a sheet of music and then play them? Of course you could. This is so sad. Music box, play Despacito. Naturally, I tested the disc in those few music boxes I have at my disposal. But as you can hear, to no avail. The results were equally unsatisfactory in this one. So, I am presently engaged in acquiring an example of all the music boxes ever made in Europe. Every single one? That's Hurley for you, always taking things too far. But, my dear girl, an unsolved riddle is quite repugnant to my constitution. But surely all the different types in Europe will amount to a huge volume of music boxes, won't it? Yes, that is certainly true. In the worst case, I shall just have to ask you to vacate the attic room. What? Magnus McGilded. Not a name I expected to hear again so soon. Yes, it's only been 2 months since that grisly case. Are we not going to tell him that his best friend died in Japan? I think he would want to know. Mr. McGilded perished within hours of the trial's conclusion. Was it the curse of the Reaper? No one knows, still now. The omnibus was reduced to a pile of ash, not a shred of evidence remained. And with the man's death, the truth about that murder in which he was so intimately involved was buried. Even though we successfully established Mr. McGilded's innocence in the trial, the newspapers are still claiming that it remains an unsolved case. The murder of the brickmaker, Mr. Thrice-Fired Mason. In the end, the truth of the matter remains a mystery. We still have no idea what happened that night. And although Mr. McGilded was found not guilty through my defense, I still don't know if that was the right judgment or not. Okay, this kind of does have the makings of a final case now. Because I had said, like, it doesn't seem like this is going to be the last one, and it really seemed like the last case is going to tie together a ton of other cases, like it did in, 3 and 4. But no, now, like, we've brought up John Wilson dying. The girl who was found to be the murderer but wasn't tried in Japan is going to be back, I'm sure. Whatever her name was, I kind of forgot. She'll be involved in this probably because Dr. Wilson was brought up. Magnus McGilded is being brought up again. Yeah, I would bet on this being the final case. It would appear the case is not yet closed. Well, it's time I started getting things ready for dinner, I think. Ginny will be here before long. Thank you, Iris. Oh, well, you must let me help you then. Of course, Susie. There's plenty to do. I think I shall investigate the condition of my faithful performing partner. Now then, where did I leave it? Let it be a lesson to you, Mr. Sholmes. Never leave anything too precious with the pawnbroker. Yes, you may be right. Oh, that reminds me of something Mr. Windibank said before. He said that he had a manuscript of Iris's in pawn, didn't he? Did he? Yes, he definitely mentioned it. Mr. Sholmes' latest tale of otherworldly mystery lies dormant in my storeroom, were his words, I believe. So you heard about that, did you? I expected you were as incensed as I was. Oh yes, the idea of such a wonderful story languishing in Mr. Windibank's storeroom gathering dust. My dear madame, I'm quite sure I told you already. The pawnbroker's storeroom is the safest place for it, more secure than a bank's vault. The thing written on the wall it's written in bullet holes. I did look at it before, and I forget what it... I don't know if it's AR or VR, but it was related to a case. And what about your Stradivarius, Hurley? Was that safe and secure? Well, there may be the occasional mix-up, caused by a certain impetuous someone not too far from me now. Do you have any idea how long it took me to write that Baskerville story, Hurley? Oh, it sounds so exciting. The Hound of the Baskervilles. I should love to read it. Ah! What's going on here? Why does it feel like an icy chill just swept through the room? Susie, what did you just say? You said The Hound of the Baskervilles. But how could you know the full title? Well, that's because Miss Susato is such a great fan of all the stories about Mr. Sholmes, of course. But Bruno, The Hound of the Baskervilles, has never been published. What? When I showed Hurley the manuscript, he told me I wasn't allowed to publish it yet. I don't understand. That's why he said that he'd keep it safe until it was the right time for the story to be made public, you see. So that's why the manuscript is at Windibank's? And yet, how could Susie here know its full title? Well, Hurley, what's going on? Ah. What is it, Mr. Sholmes? It would appear our guest has arrived. Wait a minute. Couldn't you just keep writing the story and giving it to the pawnbroker over and over for cash money that you never pay back? That's a brilliant plan. If he's like, oh yes, here's this very valuable story. So what? I can just type it again. I could have typed it twice and sold you one of them. Miss Lestrade. This was a bad idea. I knew I won't welcome. I'm going. I'll go run. No, wait, Miss Lestrade. We've all been eagerly awaiting your arrival. Haven't we, Iris? Oh yes, just wait there, Ginny. We'll have everything ready in a jiffy. Come along, Susie. Right, of course. It's a pleasure to see you here, Miss Lestrade. Please, make yourself at home. Don't stand in the doorway, my dear girl. Come along in. What say you to some Mendelssohn? Mendelssohn. I won't take no for an answer. Meddlesome it is, then. Cat! Meow. That evening, Iris prepared us all a meal that was even more delicious than usual. Mr. Sholmes' violin performance was in no way meddlesome, and Gina, as we came to call her, taught us all how to steal things from one another without being noticed. Everyone thoroughly enjoyed themselves, well into the night. And still nobody was murdered. Come on. Welcome, Odd Garrett. Would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you Mendelssohn kids. Mendelssohn kids. And your lawyer. The lawyer was instrumental in making sure that I did not get away with it. That was a very enjoyable evening, wasn't it? Oh yes, Iris's cooking was truly divine. I feel as though I can still hear the enchanting strains of Mr. Sholmes' violin even now. Best of all, I bet I could steal the glasses from his lordship's face next time we're in court. Naruhodo-san, could I consult with you about something, I wonder? What's the matter, Susato-san? It's about the telegram I received. Ah. The one that arrived first thing this morning, I suppose. I've been summoned. Summoned? What do you mean? The telegram was from the Lord Chief Justice's office. Lord Strongheart has asked to see me. The Lord Chief Justice? When? Tomorrow morning. What? Then we have to start preparing at once. Oh, no, that won't be necessary, Naruhodo-san. I've been summoned alone. Alone? What on earth for? You can't do lawyer. I have no idea. I suppose I shall find out tomorrow. What's all this about? Whatever it is, it's making me feel very uneasy. Knock, knock. Oh, who could that be, I wonder? Good evening, friends. Not your friend. Hiya. Hello again. And Gina, too. Yes, Ginny's going to stay with us tonight. She's going to sleep in with me. Isn't that right, Jenny? Well, yeah. How lovely. Let me make a pot of tea. You know, I've learnt so much today. Oh? What in particular? All those things Ginny showed us, wasn't it wonderful? Ah, you mean all those pickpocketing techniques. We had fun trying them out on each other, didn't we? I think I've awakened a natural talent. I think I could earn a living from it. Might be getting ahead of yourself a little there. So what brings you up to our humble quarters at this late hour? Well, you see, I came to return this. Wait, what? That's mine! It's on my arm, in fact. You didn't take it. Oh my, however did you? I told you, didn't I? I have a natural talent for it. Oh yes, I'd forgotten. Iris literally is a child genius. So, anyway, here, you can have it back. Not that I really understand why you wear it, though. Ah, thank you. Alright then, good night. Yes, good night. So this is your office, is it? What do you think, Jenny? I think I wouldn't fancy me chances with a lawyer what lives in a place like this. Yeah, me too. Seems as though Iris here still has something she'd like to talk about. I suppose she probably wants to talk about the manuscript. Yes, I suppose she probably does. Iris, I suppose you're hoping to talk about the manuscript, aren't you? Aren't you going to tell me? I'm so sorry. I need a little more time, please. Alright, I understand. I hope I haven't made you feel awkward. Oh no, not at all, Iris. Not at all. I don't know what all this is about, really, but... It's a story you made up, is it, Iris? This mantle script, or whatever you call it? It's not exactly a story that I made up. It's something I read in Daddy's diaries. Yeah, this is obviously the story, like, the last entry from the journal, right? Before her dad left? The last case that they had together. Daddy's? That's right. I don't suppose I've mentioned it to you before, Jenny, but my daddy was Hurley's assistant once, his partner. Eh? They solved all sorts of strange and mysterious cases together. Is that right, mister? Apparently so. I was as surprised as you are, though. And Daddy wrote all the details of every single case down, you see, in his diaries, so I study them and write my stories based on what actually happened. So, where's your old man now, then? He had to go away on urgent business to a faraway land where they sell cigarettes. And he'll be gone a very long time. So I've never really met him. Oh, right. Come to think of it, I don't know how Gina's parents died of anime either. Perhaps we should ask her. I've realized that I don't know anything about your parents, Gina. My parents are dead! I ain't got any, have I? Never did have. Oh. Look, the East End's full of orphans like me. No one wants nothing to do with us from the minute we're born, not even our mums. But we all stick together. The older ones look after the little ones and make sure they get by. So that's why you're a pickpocket. Nah, diving's my life. I love it. I get a kick out of it every time I lift some pompous idiot's purse. And that's how we all afford to eat. Like Robin Hood, ain't I? That's how I see it. Oh, Gina. I do think about it sometimes. What it'd be like to have parents, I mean. I always thought I'd make everything right. But having listened to what Iris just said, it sounds like having parents ain't always easy, either. Still not arrested. Yeah, she's stolen enough to feed an army of orphans for several years and has never been caught. I mean, if you know you never had them, you don't feel like you're always wanting to meet them. It's true. She did in fact confess in court. I do want to see Daddy so much. Oh, Iris. We're kind of huge jerks if we don't tell her. Iris, this Hound of the Baskervilles story, I take it that it's another tale inspired by your father's accounts? That's right. I thought it was fascinating. But it's different somehow, from the other cases, I mean. Oh, how? I don't really know, but it must be special in some way, because after I'd written it, and I showed the manuscript to Hurley, he turned as white as a sheet. It was the first time I've ever seen him like that. It pains me to have to say this after you've toiled over it so long, Iris, but this story must not be published at this time, under any circumstances. But why not? It's one of my best works. I'm not at liberty to say. Not now, so please do not ask me. Alright then, I won't. But I do solemnly swear that I will explain everything one day, Iris, when the time is right. And that's how the manuscript came to be with Mr. Windibank, isn't it? Yes. Hurley said it had to be somewhere very safe. That really gets my goat, it does. He's treating you like a child. It's mean is what it is, keeping secrets like that. I'm sure Mr. Sholmes isn't trying to be mean. Eh? If he said he wasn't at liberty to talk about it, I'm sure there must have been a very good reason. I think so too. You got to trust him for your own good. But he can't pull the wool over my eyes. Sholmes is lying to Iris. I bet my life on it. What? Hurley's lying to me? But she has Lyo-vision. Oops. Gina, what did you mean when you said you know Mr. Sholmes is lying to Iris? Well, he reckons he popped that mantle script or whatever, right? But come on, that's obviously a load of rubbish. Oh my, why would you think that, Gina? It's simple. If that story was really in old Windibank's storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Ah. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. But Hurley would never do something like that. I'm sure of it. He would only give it to a pawn shop to hold for more than 2 months, at which point they sell it. Ha! Grown-ups do a lot worse than that, believe me. Barefaced liars, a lot of them. You just ain't realized it yet. I'm telling you, that mantle script ain't at Windibank's. You'd soon see if you had a look. Even if you think you can trust him, I don't. That Sholmes is a liar like the rest of them. You must sleep? Me too. I'm also sleeping. I was gonna finish up this scene and then call it a night. And then we'll be back with more of it on Monday. Have a good night, Ever. If I'm honest, I have wondered if Hurley's telling me the truth sometimes. See... Oh, but I don't mean that I think he sold it. I mean that I sometimes wonder if he might have hidden my manuscript somewhere I don't know. Even though it's wrong of me to doubt him. Don't be too hard on yourself, Iris. I love how we're really acting like because he's taken it away that she doesn't remember what's in it. Like... Obviously, she couldn't rewrite it word for word, but she wrote it. She knows what it says. She could reproduce it if need be. Oh my goodness, look at the time. Come along, Ginny. We should go back downstairs. Yeah, alright. And please, don't mention any of this to Hurley, will you? No, of course not. Good night then, Iris. Good night, Gina. You must let me make breakfast for you tomorrow morning. I insist. Oh, yes, please. I can't wait, Susie. Good night, then. Iris. Sure is easy to forget, isn't it? Sometimes she speaks just like an adult, but deep down, she's still just a child. And on the surface, too. Well, I think it's time that I turned in for the night, too, Naruhodo-san. Give me the goodnight bow. Dr. John Wilson, Iris's father, but also the name of the murdered visiting professor at Yume University. It can't be a mere coincidence. There's something deeper going on. It's a lot of dots. That should have been a confession to Iris, but they weren't. It's Naruhodo. Mr. Naruhodo. That voice. That's Mr. Sholmes. What's going on? It's the middle of the night. It's Miss Lestrade. She is gone. Gina? She was supposed to be sleeping in Iris's room, but her bed is empty. Well, she's an independent young woman who don't need no man. She probably decided to go home, no? I think not. From speaking to her before she retired, I received the distinct impression that she was looking forward to breakfasting with Miss Susato. No, I don't believe the girl has gone home, but I've been waiting for over an hour now. Over an hour? Well, if you will indulge me, look out of the window, my dear fellow. What's this? What's this about? Wait a minute, why is there a light on at this time of night? We got some Phoenix Wright tension music. That's Mr. Windibank's pawnbrokery. Mr. Windibank's? Oh no! It's simple. If that story was really in old Windibank's storeroom, there's no way someone from halfway around the world, in other words, you, could know about it. Sorry, Iris, but if you ask me, he sold it. Without telling you. Could Gina have gone? It seems you have some knowledge of the situation, Mr. Naruhodo. Sorry? Oh, no. Not really. Anyway, we must investigate. At once. Miss Susato. The door to Windibank's. It's open, but we should use the windows. They're more expensive. On account of the window tax. And the lamp is burning. It must be Gina, mustn't it? Let us hope it's nothing more sinister. What? Come, not a moment to lose. Clearly something is afoot inside. There's no one here. Oh, yes. There is. Bang! Ah! Mr. Sholmes! Mr. Sholmes! What the... Has Sholmes been shot? Leave me, Mr. Naruhodo. But after them, go! Right. Blast! I've lost them. Hello, what are we here? The alarm was just raised from his pawnbroker, sir. Would you happen to know something about that? Officer, come with me. It's my friend, Mr. Sholmes. He's been shot. Shot? With the policeman close behind me, I ran back to Windibank's. It wasn't very far.
Mr. Sholmes!
Mr. Naruhodo!
Say that again?
What is it? Never mind me, but there's much at stake. Behind that door.
No blood?
In the storeroom. Hurry! It's Gina!
So another locked room mystery on our hands, is it? The door is locked, there's no way in or out unless you dig your way to the sewers and into the bank vault on the other side of the street. She's the only person in there, she must have shot him, blah blah blah. Of course. The town tilted. And all of the doors on this side of the street locked. And all the ones on the other side of the street unlocked. I mean, yeah, okay. So how many... The first... No, that wasn't the first case. The second case was a locked room mystery. The third case was the omnibus. But the fourth case... Oh, no, the fourth... Okay, so it's only the second case that was a locked room mystery. But now we have another one. Will someone pawned a magical portal? Could be. What if they pawned a bag of holding with a portable hole inside? It could happen. Alright, so I guess we will... Although it is dramatic, of course, to stop right here. Can I have my options? I don't need to see it again. We'll watch it again next time. Just give me the... Alright, we'll save it again after this. Oh, and she's conveniently holding the gun. It's Gina. From that moment, wind... Oh, no, okay. I can't do it here. Alright, we'll just leave. It's already saved? Right there? Yeah, okay. We'll just leave it like that. I guess we'll rewatch the intro next time. Alright, that's going to be it for tonight. Thank you, everybody. More of this on Monday. Monsters Expedition on Tuesday. I don't want to invoke the He-10 meme of we might be finishing it. Like, I could still be a good, 20 hours from the end of Monsters Expedition. I have no idea. Absolutely no idea. But we'll be playing more of it on Tuesday and this on Monday. So thank you, everyone. Hope you had a great time, and I will see you next time.